by Johnny Evans, who returns after a 2-game absence through injury. And Leicester line up Schmeichel, Castaigne, Soyuncu, Fofana, Thomas, Evans, Tielemans, and Didi, Perez, Iheanacho and Vardy. So for the 20,000 lucky fans flocking at Wembley Way, will it be Leicester's first joy in this competition as they get their first final in 52 years, or will it be Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel to get his first trophy of his era in charge at Stamford Bridge? We're set to get underway at 5:15. The team news is in from Wembley as Chelsea take on Leicester City in front of 20,000 lucky supporters this afternoon. Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel makes 5 changes to his blue side that lost 1-0 at home to Arsenal in the Premier League just 3 days ago. Antonio Rudiger, N'Golo Conte, Marcos Alonso, Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner all return. Ben Chilwell, Christian Pulisic and Kai Havertz are the ones that have to settle for a place on the bench. Chelsea line up with Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, James, Conte, Jorginho, Alonso, Mount, Ziyech and Werner. Leicester City, well, they make just the one change to the side that beat Manchester United 2-1 on Tuesday night. Mark Albrighton is replaced by Johnny Evans, who returns after a 2-game absence through injury. And Leicester line up Schmeichel, Castaigne, Soyuncu, Fofana, Thomas, Evans, Tielemans, and Didi, Perez, Iheanacho and Vardy. So for the 20,000 lucky fans flocking at Wembley Way, will it be Leicester's first joy in this competition as they get their first final in 52 years, or will it be Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel to get his first trophy of his era in charge at Stamford Bridge? We're set to get underway at 5:15. The team news is in from Wembley as Chelsea take on Leicester City in front of 20,000 lucky supporters this afternoon. Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel makes 5 changes to his blue side that lost 1-0 at home to Arsenal in the Premier League just 3 days ago. Antonio Rudiger, N'Golo Conte, Marcos Alonso, Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner all return. Ben Chilwell, Christian Pulisic and Kai Havertz are the ones that have to settle for a place on the bench. Chelsea line up with Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, James, Conte, Jorginho, Alonso, Mount, Ziyech and Werner. Leicester City, well, they make just the one change to the side that beat Manchester United 2-1 on Tuesday night. Mark Albrighton is replaced by Johnny Evans, who returns after a 2-game absence through injury. And Leicester line up Schmeichel, Castaigne, Soyuncu, Fofana, Thomas, Evans, Tielemans, and Didi, Perez, Iheanacho and Vardy. So for the 20,000 lucky fans flock. And a very warm welcome along to Off Tube studio-based commentary then on this FA Cup final, the 140th in the history of the competition. And a welcome return for fans at Wembley as well for this great occasion. Cameras focusing on N'Golo Conte prior to kick-off as we are set to get underway then at Wembley. It's going to be Leicester City in their changed colours this afternoon with their sort of burgundy, all burgundy kit, or maybe maroon colours. Jamie Vardy geeing up his teammates there before the referee gets us underway. Should also mention the official for this afternoon's game. Big honour for Michael Oliver as well, the Northeastern match official. And the cameras pan around Wembley now and show the socially distanced groups of supporters, about 10,000 fans for each club allowed in to this one. And I'm sure they'll be making as much noise as potentially 30 or 40,000 of them would have done in normal circumstances. But the players all take a knee prior to kick-off. And sure there's no room for racism as referee Oliver strides away, and we get underway with Kelechi Iheanacho taking the centre kick. And a long ball played out towards Luke Thomas's flank. He goes up for a header and it comes off him and goes out for the first throw of the game for Chelsea. The Blues in the first half then, in their home colours, going from right to left, and long throw in, trying to catch the Leicester City defence a little bit square. Johnny Evans is caught out as Werner runs in behind, but Werner's cross into the penalty area, too close to Schmeichel, and there's no problem for the Great Dane to get his first touch, the Leicester captain, and he immediately clears long downfield, trying to release Iheanacho at the other end. But Antonio Rudiger takes control of the situation and knocks it out for a throw into Leicester. So end-to-end stuff inside the first 40 seconds. Werner showing his paces there to get in behind Johnny Evans, who's going to be tested today. Evans, of course, has missed a couple of games with an injury. We've been carrying an injury and playing through it for the best part of a month, I think, under Brendan Rodgers, and then wasn't able to participate a couple of games ago. Actually pulled up in the warm-up ahead of the defeat to Newcastle as that throw-in from Leicester aimed towards the penalty area. It goes all the way through to Kepa Arrizabalaga, and so he missed the Manchester United game as well, missed the Newcastle defeat. Quite a resounding defeat it was as well, which raised a few eyebrows, but they bounced back with that win at Old Trafford. Another ball out towards Werner, who's kind of running behind Soyuncu this time. He's forced wide, gets across into the penalty area, but Fofana is there, and Evans keeps his cool and knocks it away towards Thomas, who's brought down. So that will be a free kick to Leicester. Should mention the formations as well. Chelsea in a familiar 3-4-2-1 system, which has been evolved and very much become the favourite of Thomas Tuchel since he arrived earlier this season to take over from Frank Lampard. So Arrizabalaga in goal, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger the back three, James and Alonso the wing backs, Conte, Jorginho central midfielders, Ziyech and Mount behind Timo Werner as the lone forward in this lineup, as Schmeichel takes that free kick, hits it long towards the Chelsea half, headed away by Alonso, controlled in midfield by Jorginho. Alonso knocks it back to Rudiger, who's under pressure immediately from Vardy from behind him. But Rudiger clears his lines up over the halfway line towards Werner, who tries to nod it back towards Ziyech, but there's a missed kick there by Evans, but Thomas is there to knock it back to Schmeichel, and under pressure from Werner he clears out towards the right side, but Castaigne can't make the header over Alonso, and it's straight out for a Chelsea throw. Pretty frantic opening couple of minutes then to this FA Cup final, the 140th of the competition. Chelsea have won 8, Leicester yet to lift a famous piece of silverware, though they have been finalists 4 previous times, and this is their first showpiece final in 52 years, as now Chelsea put under pressure inside their defensive third, and the ball is in the penalty area for Leicester. Cross comes in, that's too close to Kepa, and he makes a comfortable catch and gets his first serious touch of the game, so he'll be feeling a little bit better now. The goalkeeper's dealt with the back pass already, but that was his first touch with his hands, I believe. And now Rudiger knocks the ball away up to the halfway line. It comes back off a Leicester player and goes out for a Chelsea throw. Yeah, so quite a frantic start to the match. It hasn't really settled down, not much football being played so far. It's all about getting in behind each other's defence and trying to stretch them. As, of course, both sides possess pacey forward. Jamie Vardy, there aren't many quicker than him, even at his more advanced age. As a rather risky clearance by Rudiger is picked up in midfield by Thomas. He plays a 1-2 on the edge of the penalty area, but Conte nips in to take control and knocks it back to Alonso. He finds Rudiger on the edge of the box and then into Jorginho's path. Jorginho under pressure there from Vardy, goes back to Azpilicueta, and now Chelsea will build back through Jorginho again, sweeping it out towards the left-hand side now, and Hakim Ziyech. He's played his part in this FA Cup run, of course. Remember his excellent display against Sheffield United in the quarter-finals. Chelsea played up towards Werner, tries to flick it on out towards the right-hand side. This is Mason Mount scurrying after it towards a corner flag, tracked by Soyuncu, gets a half challenge, and Mount rides the tackle and wriggles away from him. Still a little bit isolated here, the Englishman, but he now knocks it back to the supporting Azpilicueta. Crossfield switch finds Ziyech about 30 yards out, and then it's swept out to the left once more for Alonso, up against the right-back Castaigne. He goes back inside for help and gets it back again. Alonso into the penalty area. The good covering comes in though from Fofana, and the Frenchman clears down the line. It's headed back in field by Conte. Chelsea pick it up again. Jorginho influential. Conte again ferrying it down the left hand side for Alonso, gets it back the Frenchman and feeds it into Jorginho. Of course he had a horror show in midweek, didn't he, in Chelsea's league defeat, where he was at fault for the Arsenal goal in that 1-0 scoreline, but Chelsea have worked it wide to the right again now with Reece James back into Jorginho. Immaculate first touch from the Italian international in towards Jorginho and towards Conte's feet again. Back to Mount. They're weaving the patterns here. Chelsea cross comes in from James. It's deflected behind off Thomas's neck or shoulders and goes behind for a Chelsea corner. First corner of the game. Inside the first 5, well, just outside the first 5 minutes actually, because we've had 5 minutes of action so far and no shots on goal from either team, but plenty of hard work, and certainly Chelsea threading that pass through dangerously towards Werner on a couple of occasions so far, although nothing's come of them. That certainly looks a good avenue for Chelsea so far. It's going to be Reece James to take the first corner of the match from over on the right. This one is swung in towards the near post, headed away by the Leicester defence, goes back over James's head and will be a throw in. Reece James, of course, had a lone stint at Wigan Athletic before being recalled to Chelsea start of this season under Frank Lampard, and really Lampard gave him his chances, as They play the throw into the penalty area. Mount falls as he tries to hook it back in the box, and it's cleared by Thomas down the line towards Vardy. Quickly in, though, was one of the Chelsea defenders who knocks it out for a throw to Leicester. Foxes in their maroon away kit this afternoon, all maroon, with a bit of white trim, white numbers on the back. Chelsea get their home colours, and I guess the home dressing rooms for this cup final as they steal the ball back again. Conte is fouled as he plays it forward. The referee says play on. Mount goes to the corner flag to try and keep it in. Tries a bit of skill and wins a corner. So probably a good play on there from the referee, Mr. Oliver. May have just been accidental contact on Conte anyway, but good skill from Mount to win the corner from a tight area. He's having a wow of a season, isn't he? The England international, another player who really benefited from Frank Lampard's return to Stamford Bridge, mainly last season, of course, but of course he did actually miss selection for Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge, but I think the German quickly realised that Mount is absolutely crucial to Chelsea's cohesion. It's going to be Hakim Ziyech to take this one left-footed from that right-hand side again. Chelsea's second corner of the game is swung in towards the far post, headed away by Fofana, drops on the edge to Alonso, lifts across into the far post. It's headed away by Leicester again, not convincingly. Chelsea trying to keep it alive in the box before Fofana makes another header. And then a loose one from Tielemans drops at the feet of James, who scurries and tries to relay it back to Mount, but then he fouls one of the Leicester players. I think it was Perez who went down. That's going to be a free kick to the Foxes. Yeah, free kick to Leicester City. Like I say, they lost to Newcastle, but did pick up some momentum with that very handy win at Old Trafford on Tuesday night that gets them back into, I would say, probably a favourites position to secure a top four place, although obviously Liverpool's win over Manchester United again at Old Trafford on Thursday just slightly muddies that picture. It means that Leicester now probably will need a draw against Chelsea in the league match, which comes after this. Chelsea perhaps a bit more onus on them to win that game now, as they're still a couple of points off Leicester in the table following their defeat to Arsenal. But they can put all those thoughts aside for the 90 minutes, maybe more today, as the ball is played back from a throw-in to Azpilicueta, who's put under pressure by Vardy. Slide challenge comes in from the Leicester star, and it's out for a Chelsea goal kick. Michael Oliver goes over to the situation, perhaps just wanting to make his presence felt there. Jamie Vardy charging round like a player 15 years younger than he is, and really trying to set the tempo and set the tone for this Foxy display. As a header from Evans drops at Mount's feet, and he tries to set them going. Chelsea on the right now with James back to Conte. Jorginho 10 yards inside receives the pass, then knocks it back to Rudiger, who advances from his defensive position, finding Ziyech. Wide it goes to Alonso. No way past Castaigne, so he finds Conte again. Rudiger once more. Loose ball from him, and the turnover falls Leicester's way with Perez, but he's challenged on the halfway line by Conte. Comes back to Thomas, who knocks it into the channel. One for Vardy to chase, and his pace might get in there. Vardy to try and hold it up in the penalty area, but Reece James too strong for him. Shepherds it behind for a goal kick. Thomas Tuchel certainly has got good options in those two wing-back positions, and Ben Chilwell, of course, will be gutted to have missed out today on selection. Maybe he'll be the one for the Champions League final, but Chilwell, of course, a former Leicester City player, is only on the bench for this game, with Alonso preferred on the left-hand side. And of course, Reece James has been in competition at times with Cesar Azpilicueta. Also, Emerson is in the squad and can play in the right wing-back position. Ball goes out for a throw-in off Ndidi, who's not really worked his way into the game so far. It's thrown in quickly to Mount in the hole. He's brought down by Ndidi. The referee saw nothing wrong with that. And the ball's passed forward into the feet of Vardy. Lays it off back towards Perez. Former Newcastle man knocks it back now to Fofana. And then we've got Tielemans on the ball. Back to the former Saint Etienne defender Fofana, who comes away from Ziyech's pressure and finds a route out towards Castaigne. Castaigne knocks it into Ndidi's feet. He's challenged from the opposite side, though, by Jorginho successfully, and Chelsea have turned the ball over. No chance for a quick counter-attack here, though. Leicester all in position. Ziyech just squares it back to Jorginho. He's had a very good start to the game after his midweek nightmare. Ball over the top for Ziyech is very ambitious, and Werner had checked his run, so it's gone all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. And we've played 11 minutes of this FA Cup final now, still goalless, and still also a little bit devoid of action so far as well. No serious shots on goal from either team, as Kasper Schmeichel Knocks it long down the right-hand side, and that's gone straight out for a Chelsea throw. To be taken by Alonso. Swings his arms behind him, loads up and finds Mount, who's then brought down from behind by Soyuncu. He claims accidental contact, the Turkish international, but referee Oliver has given Chelsea the free kick midway inside the Leicester half. It was a good throw actually by Alonso. He really got good length to that throw to find Mount, and Soyuncu maybe panicking a little bit, stood off him and came clattering through him to give away the free kick. Chelsea have taken short, and there's a tackle by Tielemans which the referee doesn't like on Jorginho. That's going to be a foul on the halfway line again, and maybe a word for the Belgian now from referee Oliver. That wasn't a nasty challenge, but it was a little bit of a swipe from the side, and Jorginho went down. I'm sure there was some sound effects there as well, which maybe made it sound a little bit worse than it was. Anyway, Leicester have got to hunt the ball again now as Chelsea have taken the free kick. Back to Conte. He can't pass it through. Ndidi and Perez closing down. It goes out for a throw-in to the home side, I guess. The team in the home colours with a home dressing room, Chelsea. And really, I suppose, certainly they'll feel more at home than Leicester. They've been much more regular visitors to Wembley in this new guise since it was modernised. In fact, probably even prior to that as well. They won a couple of cup finals there, I remember, in the old Wembley before the Twin Towers came down. The ball forward is by Jorginho. It's headed down by Castaigne, but then ferried back towards Alonso, who's right on that touchline. Good skill from him to get away from Castaigne. Back to Ziyech, who pigs out a cross towards the back post. Picks out a deep ball towards the back post, which has gone over everyone's head and out for a throw. Hakim Ziyech, the Moroccan international. Another summer arrival. Actually, his signature was officially announced way before the transfer window actually even opened, back end of last season when he was still an Ajax player. And Ajax are quite happy to let that become public knowledge before the end of their season. Gave him a bit more time to acclimatise as well, because I think that Dutch season finished a long time before the English campaign, which ran on through the summer did. So Ziyech actually spent a bit of time in London, getting settled into life in the UK before he got his first games, and maybe that's helped him settle in to English football. There's the ball over the top looking for Azpilicueta on the right hand side is too strong and goes out for a throw into Leicester now, but they've been pinned back, and really the Foxes haven't really got out of their half too much with any success in the last few minutes. Thomas Tuchel wearing his familiar blue Chelsea coat on the sidelines as Luke Thomas winds up a long throw and hauls it down the line, but it's not going to stick to Perez. Chelsea have won it back. Now it's with Ziyech, laid to Jorginho. He's got Rudiger making a nice run out to the left of him. Rudiger to the edge of the box, might have a shot from here, strikes it powerfully, never really had the direction, and it went wide of target for the first real effort on goal in the FA Cup final, which remains goalless after 15 minutes. About a quarter of an hour gone in the FA Cup final at Wembley, where it's still goalless between Chelsea and Leicester City. The Foxes in their change colours haven't really had much of the possession so far, indeed got out of their own half. Chelsea have successfully pressed them and they've played around them at times. Timo Werner's got in behind for a couple of runs which haven't resulted in a shot on goal. The first effort that did come in after about 15 minutes was badly off target from Antonio Rudiger from about 25 yards out. So it remains goalless in the cup final. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. A great deal of action to really get excited about as Chelsea win it back in their own half again. Played back by James to Azpilicueta. He plays the back pass into his own penalty area now, and eventually it's cleared by Thiago Silva to Rudiger. High ball forward from Alonso isn't controlled by Werner on the halfway line, but Mount tries to do something with it but gives it straight to Thomas. He knocks it back. Soyuncu and Evans have a bit of time and space at the back, and they find Fofana over on the right side of that back three. Into the feet of Ndidi. Back to goal, he finds Tielemans, who's deeper than him at the moment, trying to carve a pass out towards the raiding right wing-back Castaigne, who's got in behind. Cross to the back post. It's almost a brilliant ball to Vardy, whose shot is blocked at close range there. And Chelsea survived, but just one pass from Tielemans undid the Blues' back line. And it was Castaigne with a good run and cross, but although it was on to the right foot of Vardy, he was tightly marked and it got blocked. That's Leicester's best moment, though. It was Reece James who stood tall to block that effort from Jamie Vardy, which was goal-bound. As now Soyuncu hacks it away at the back. Alonso wins the header over Tielemans. It's forced forward by Conte, looking for the run of Mount, but again Evans takes charge with a solid back pass to Kasper Schmeichel. And the former Manchester City goalkeeper, they clearance up to the halfway line, flicked on by Leicester towards Vardy, but Thiago Silva had a couple of yards on him and knocked it back to the keeper, Kepa, finding James. James looks down the line, and it's towards Werner, who spins away, but then the ball comes off Soyuncu's body for a Chelsea throw. Thomas Tuchel's playing ball boy at the moment, and lobs it back before James goes back towards Azpilicueta, and then Thiago Silva as they try and build from the back once more, the Blues. Now Conte back to Thiago Silva. Quick first time ball into the feet of Werner, who tumbles under a challenge from Johnny Evans, who doesn't like the referee's decision there. It's a foul and a free kick, and maybe a little bit of a warning for Johnny Evans, who came through the back of Werner. He says he won the ball, and although he did, I think he did take the player first, so he's got to be careful as well now. Although it wasn't a yellow card, I'm sure it's been noted by referee Oliver. Chelsea take that free kick and go back now across to the right hand side with Reece James finding Conte, and then back to Thiago Silva. Now Rudiger being pressed by Ndidi, plays it out to the left hand side for Alonso, and then fed up towards Ziyech. Alonso again. Chelsea's passing and I think system is troubling Leicester at the moment. Good challenge though by Fofana, wins it back briefly. Tielemans swapping passes with Ndidi, but then he's lost it. In fact, Iheanacho lost it there, and then Ndidi trying to get across the ball, fouls Jorginho, but Chelsea have already moved it away from that situation. The referee allowing play on again, even though Leicester City are making tackles that are late. The referee's happy to allow play on because Chelsea are just moving the ball so slickly at the moment. They've had 70% possession. They play it up now, and finally the move breaks down as Evans clears back towards Iheanacho, who's gone down under a challenge from Rudiger. The referee says play on. Ziyech trying to force it through to Werner, but Fofana makes a tackle that knocks it out for a throw-in. And Nigerian international Kelechi Iheanacho slow to get up from that tackle from behind by Rudiger. Having seen it again, I think he did get the ball, so the referee might have got that one right. Jorginho trying to swing it into the box, too close to Schmeichel, who can wait on his line and gather. He was looking for a run then from Cesar Azpilicueta. One thing to note actually in the early stages here, I think Azpilicueta and James are quite fluid in their positioning on that right hand side, from either right central defender to right wing back. At times you've seen Azpilicueta bomb on further forward than James, so that might be a slight misnomer then that James is playing right wing back today. Long ball forward, might have caught out Chelsea at the back, but Thiago Silva, he's fouled, he's handballed it. So accidental handball from Thiago Silva, but the referee spotted it and has given the free kick to Leicester. It was a high ball he was trying to control. Actually, Iheanacho got there first, poked it beyond him, but that surely is an accidental handball from Thiago Silva, and I think maybe a slightly harsh decision to give a free kick, but it is going to be Leicester's free kick about 5-6 yards outside the penalty area over on the right hand side. Big red scoreboard above the goal, guarded by Kepa Arrizabalaga in front of the banks of fans, socially distanced supporters in this reduced capacity crowd for the 140th FA Cup final, all wearing masks as well, or all came in wearing masks. You can see one or two in the crowd have actually taken theirs off. Anyway, it's going to be a free kick to be taken by Tielemans. This one right-footed towards the back post, headed over the bar by Shaglar Soyuncu, I should say, the man with the shaggy hair, and he was unable to keep that header down. He was picked out really well by Tielemans, and he puts the thumbs up as he jogs back to the halfway line. Good free kick from Leicester. Whether it was a right decision or not from the referee, it could have resulted in the first goal, but it was an off-target header from Shaglar Soyuncu. He had Vardy trying to execute an overhead kick right in his face as well, so he kept his eyes firmly on the ball, or maybe he was put off slightly, that's why he couldn't keep the header down. Alonso trying to find Ziyech, successfully does find the Moroccan, gets it back now. Alonso looks long, trying to hit Werner, who flicks it on towards Azpilicueta, who has pushed up on that right side, goes back towards Mount. Mount crosses, that's a cross shot that's taking a deflection off Evans, almost falls to Chelsea player Ziyech, but covering back there was Castaigne, knocking it down the line. The Belgian finds the feet of Iheanacho, and it comes off Rudiger last, and will be a Leicester throw, I believe. No, Chelsea will take it, although Leicester felt the decision was theirs. It's gone Chelsea's way, And that's quite a lot of the play in the opening 20 minutes of this game has. We've almost come up to the midpoint of the first half, and it remains goalless at Wembley. Ball played back now to Kepa Arrizabalaga. And the Spaniard hits it long. It's straight down the throat of Fofana into Iheanacho's feet, surrounded by blue shirts, and he's giving it up now to Ziyech. Ziyech trying to thread it through to Werner, but covering across again. Evans takes a good angle and knocks it back to his keeper. Looks off Werner's pressure and plays it. Schmeichel plays it to Soyuncu. Thomas got closed down and he's given it away now into midfield. Chelsea's pressing game is paying dividends at the moment in the rain and drizzle of Wembley in front of 20,000 fans. It's not been the most entertaining opening quarter of this match, but there has been plenty of work rate, plenty of energy shown by both teams. Now, you'd think they wouldn't be able to keep this kind of rate of hard work up throughout the 90 minutes or more, as it's into the feet of Mount now, laid off back to Jorginho. First time left-footed ball finding Alonso on the edge of the penalty area. He's got Ziyech making a good run. Ziyech cuts it back to the edge of the box. Alonso, can he turn and shoot? He goes down to the penalty area. There was a good challenge made though by Yuri Tielemans, and the referee points to the ball. And now Leicester try and break through Iheanacho, but covering there was Thiago Silva. He cuts it off, and the rain is really coming down now at Wembley in this cup final. Usually you get good weather for, well, I say usually, it seemed in history that it used to bring good weather, the FA Cup final, maybe not so much anymore. Mason Mount's trying to turn really well on the edge of the penalty area, still going here. Mason Mount gets a left-footed shot away. Oh, it's just wide. Just wide. Was there a touch from a defender there? I think they're going to line up for a corner. Best action of the game so far, provided by Mason Mount. An electric turn about 25 yards out. He beavered towards the edge of the penalty area, took a left-footed swing, and it was only a yard wide. And there may have been a slight deflection there as he shot, which results in a corner. Schmeichel seemed to be beaten, but the shot also beat the outside of the post. It will be the third corner of the FA Cup final, all of them so far to Chelsea. And this one's going to be, I think, Hakim Ziyech again. The left-footed in-swinger rather than the right-footed ball we saw earlier from Reece James. Yeah, it's going to be Ziyech to take it. Swings it high towards the back post. Rudiger comes, but Schmeichel comes and gets there in front of Rudiger. And now Schmeichel tries to hit a long ball forward towards Iheanacho, but coming across there was N'Golo Conte with a good header. Knocks it out for a throw-in. So yeah, coming up to the about the midpoint of the first half at Wembley, where it's still Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. A torrential downpour is coming down in this part of North London right now, but it's still goalless in the match. They've had a couple of decent opportunities though, Leicester City now. One from open play, a good ball from Tielemans, got in behind the Chelsea back line. Castaigne crossed it towards Vardy. His shot was blocked at close quarters by Reece James, but it was goal bound. And then from a free kick, rather controversially awarded for a handball by Thiago Silva, Tielemans' cross to the back post headed over by Shaglar Soyuncu. Chelsea's best moment, well, probably just a few minutes ago from Mason Mount. Lovely turn about 25 yards out, a shot from the edge of the box which went just wide and took a slight deflection for a Chelsea corner. They've had 3 corners so far, haven't made anything of them. It remains Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. And that's where we are at this point in the game. As we've got a ball on the far side for Leicester City. Leicester City, remember, of course, in their changed colours today of maroon, all maroon. In very wet conditions, it must be said, at Wembley right now. It's not been a classic so far. As Chelsea gets the halfway line. And there's a foul on Mason Mount by Wilfred Ndidi, which gives... I say foul on Timo Werner by Ndidi, which gives the Chelsea side a free kick. Here they are again with Jorginho. And now James down the line, flicked on by Azpilicueta, looking for the run of Timo Werner. Headed away. And now the referee gets out of the way as well, as Ndidi knocks it back to Fofana, who can just bring it down. No pressure at all on the Frenchman. He slides it across to Evans and then Soyuncu. Knocked back to Tielemans, plays a 1-2 with Thomas. In fact, it's Ayose Perez actually, just in front of Thomas, and it goes back now to the youngster. Then Evans, back to his goalkeeper. So at the moment, deadlocked at Wembley in the 140th FA Cup final. With Leicester just playing keep ball inside their own half now. Fofana and Didi, then to Tielemans. He goes with a high pass in towards Iheanacho, but it's headed away by Thiago Silva. Accidental contact, and he goes down the Brazilian. Conte picks it up, flicks it through. They're 3-on-3 here. Chelsea with Werner in possession, edge of the penalty area. He goes for goal himself, and he strikes it high and over the crossbar. Really powerfully, but way off target. And that kind of sums up his season at times. Wasteful, although looking dangerous. Never quite delivering on that promise. But good play by Conte to set him up. They had the Foxes' defence backpedaling there, but Werner's effort was badly off target. And it remains 0-0. As the ball is sent forward by Schmeichel. Knocked back by Chelsea. Missed by Fofana, drops to Werner again. Similar position to where he shot from. This time he might try something different and passes it off towards Ziyech. Ziyech on his left foot crosses towards the back post. Nobody there in blue. It's headed away by Chelsea, but will be picked up by Mount by the corner flag. He actually lets it run over for a throw-in rather than trying to do anything with that situation. So Chelsea throw in front of their own supporters. Over on that right-hand side, it's thrown in towards Conte, tries to cross. I think that ballooned off a Leicester man. It did. It came off Soyuncu's body and will be another Chelsea corner there, fourth of the game so far in this final. And it's usually been Hakim Ziyech to take them from that right-hand side. In fact, all four corners have come from the right-hand side so far for Chelsea. Antonio Rudiger wearing that mask, the mask that he wore in the defeat last week to Arsenal. This one is swung in by Ziyech, but headed away at the near post by Leicester. Comes back to Mount and Azpilicueta. Mount crossing towards the back post, headed away. It might drop here to Rudiger in the box. Rudiger teeing up Thiago Silva across the far post. Oh, what a miss! What a miss. Two Chelsea players in each other's way. Azpilicueta and Werner. Neither of them got a touch, and that should have been 1-0. Great off-the-cuff play by Chelsea to keep the ball alive in the box. Mount's cross had the Foxes' defence backpedaling. Thiago Silva found Rudiger and then crossed himself. It was a perfect ball for Azpilicueta, and he just never really jumped. Oh, sorry, no, the reason why he didn't jump is because Werner got a touch. If Werner hadn't touched that one, Azpilicueta had the easiest task to just nod it in from close range, but Werner got a touch to take it away from Azpilicueta, and like I said, first time, they got in each other's way. Big chance there for Chelsea to take the lead, and Leicester have been given their warnings here. They come up to the half-hour mark at Wembley, and Leicester aren't really in the game. They've had one or two half chances, but Chelsea have been the better side. They've dominated possession territory, and the passing has been much crisper and more inventive. And Didi, and the anchor man in midfield, knocks it out now to the right for Fofana. He gets motoring towards the halfway line. He's got Castaigne bursting ahead of him, and then he lays it back to the Belgian, who knocks it off the feet of Ziyech for a throw. Throw in to the Foxes. Brendan Rodgers, of course, had all that success up at Celtic, a trophy-laden spell in charge of the Glasgow club, but he's been at Leicester now for almost 2 full seasons, and well, missed out on the top 4 last season. They look on course for the top 4 this season, and of course the FA Cup final could be the cherry on the cake for what would have been a perfect, well, not a perfect season, but certainly a very fine season for Leicester if they achieve top 4 and win the FA Cup. I think FA Cup probably minimum requirement for Thomas Tuchel. Obviously, top 4 also fairly minimum requirement for him. That's what he was brought in to salvage their season, really, after the problems under Lampard, which saw them drop down to about 9th. Now, Johnny Evans' pass has gone straight out for a throw-in to Chelsea. But, of course, the big prize on the horizon for Tuchel is the Champions League final against Manchester City in a couple of weeks' time. Got a throw in now to Chelsea down the right, and Johnny Evans has gone down here. I think he's in a bit of pain here. This could be big problems for Leicester Evans has gone down holding his knee. That was an issue pre-kickoff, and he might have to come off here. Mark Albrighton is warming up. Well, they've given it a go. Johnny Evans has lasted 30 minutes, but I don't think he's going to be able to carry on. What a shame for the Northern Irishman. I think the injury's got the better of him, so Albrighton could be the switch here, and maybe a change in formation as well. The physio's come on to try and ascertain what's wrong with Johnny Evans, but we've got a break in play, so let's just reprise what we've seen so far. More than half an hour gone at a very rainy FA Cup final. It remains Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. A couple of chances for either side. Leicester's best opportunities came down the right-hand side from Yuri Tielemans. First time ball finding Castaigne on the run. His cross found Vardy, but it was blocked from close range. It did seem to be on target. And then from a free kick swung in by Tielemans, a header from Soyuncu at the far post that went over. However, Chelsea have been dominant so far. They've had the better chances. Timo Werner skied it from about 25 yards. Mason Mount drilled one just wide of target. And then we saw their best opportunity across from Thiago Silva after the ball was recycled to the back post. And although it looked like the easiest task for Azpilicueta to nod home from 3 or 4 yards out, Werner got a touch prior to it, and it just took it away from the Spaniard and went behind for a goal kick. Unfortunately for Leicester, they started with Johnny Evans, who was back after a 2-game absence to injury. He's lasted 30 minutes before he's had to call it a day. That knee problem still troubling him. So Evans has gone off, and Mark Albrighton has come on for Leicester. So the first substitution has been made by Brendan Rodgers. It remains Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0 in the FA Cup final. And Albrighton just coming on now to replace Johnny Evans. As he gets a warm round of applause, the Northern Irishman. Like I say, it was a touch and go decision, I think, wasn't it, from Brendan Rodgers to select him from the start. Maybe just trying to give Evans a chance to prove himself, but I think the pain call it a day. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagalat Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed wide by Timo Werner when Azpilicueta was in a better position to head it. And headers as well for Kagla Soyuncu for Leicester, their best at moments, both times from set pieces, one from Tielemans, one from Luke Thomas. At half-time, it is Leicester City 0, Chelsea 0. Half-time at Wembley in the FA Cup final, where it's still goalless in the rain. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 0. Chelsea have dominated that first half, but they haven't got much to show from it. Neither team's had an attempt on target, although Mason Mount and Timo Werner have both had good sightings of goal. Chelsea's best opportunity came from a Thiago Silva cross that was headed... Yeah, well, welcome back underway at Wembley for the second half of this FA Cup final. And no changes at half-time made by either manager, Thomas Tuchel or Brendan Rodgers. Of course, Rodgers forced into one change during that first period after the untimely injury to Johnny Evans. Gave it half an hour, but his knee gave out on him, and so he's been replaced by Mark Albrighton. Long ball forward from Soyuncu goes all the way through to Kepa Arrizabalaga as the Spaniard gets his first touch of the second half. Didn't really see much of the ball in the first period. Couple of back passes, one cross, but no saves to make. Pretty much telling the story of the finishing in that first period. The rain seems to have relented a little bit, and it was torrential midway through the break, but midway through the first half. In the break, it seems to have died off a little bit. Maybe that'll encourage some better finishing as Arrizabalaga clears again. Headed away by Soyuncu, back towards Iheanacho, trying to set up Vardy, comes back to Tielemans instead. Now wide to the right, they go for Albrighton, fizzed in towards Iheanacho's feet, but Rudiger all over him like a rash, knocks it out for a throw, which Leicester take already. Iheanacho trying to use his power and his agility to get round Alonso, but helped out there by a Chelsea teammate, and it comes out off Albrighton for a Blues throw-in. When I say the Blues, I'm talking about Chelsea, of course, because Leicester are still in their changed colours of all maroon for this cup final. Headed on by Conte from the throw-in. Fofana wins the next header, hooked forward by Ndidi. cleared by Alonso and out for a Leicester throw. So Leicester trying to keep the pressure on down their right-hand side, have a throw-in to be taken by Timothy Castaigne. In fact, it was Albrighton who lobbed it in towards Iheanacho, but he's been dispossessed. Now Conte in 5 yards of space, starts to carry and then sends a long ball forward in the direction of Werner. Easily dealt with though by Soyuncu. Now sent forward again by Leicester. That'll go straight to Rudiger, who's not being challenged by Iheanacho. Then Leicester have tried to steal it back in midfield. There's a loose header by Soyuncu, and Werner could be in here. Werner running away down the left-hand side. Finally, Leicester get goal side. Werner on the edge of the penalty area, trying to feed Mount. It's a poor ball. Mount never had a chance with a cross, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Just for a moment there, a loose header again from a Leicester player. Allowed Timo Werner to show his pace, but although he's got bags of pace, his end product has been sadly lacking today. So throw-in now on the opposite side of the pitch to be taken by Leicester. Cameras just focus on the bench for a brief moment and show us Kai Havertz, the German international who's on the Chelsea bench. Been in great form recently, saw him have a couple of really good games for the Blues lately. As this ball's thrown in by Thomas to Fofana. And now Castaigne crosses the halfway line. He's got Albrighton showing out to the right flank, goes back to the Belgium, and he's forced all the way back to his goalkeeper by Chelsea's concerted press. Now Soyuncu starts to move towards the halfway line. Still going here, Shaglar Soyuncu. Conte is trying to close him down. Good strength, and he gets pushed over by Conte there. Should be a free kick. Referee's not seen it. There was definitely a push there from Conte, and now Perez has gone down holding his knee as if he was caught as well. The referee doing nothing about it. Well, that was the second challenge. Conte with Perez was 50-50. I don't think really there's anything to arise from that, but I'm pretty sure Conte did push Soyuncu moments before. Leicester didn't get the free kick. Whether the referee deemed that it wasn't enough force in the push, but he looked like he had his hand on his back. Conte has it now. Works it square to Rudiger. Rudiger being pressed by Iheanacho. Finds Jorginho. Jorginho almost tied himself in knots there, but goes back to Rudiger, who clears. This one just a straight punt downfield, which a missed header from Soyuncu gives Chelsea a brief chance before Leicester steal it back, and now Fofana brings it forward. That's a good ball out to the right. Albrighton trying to thread it to Vardy. Off his line quickly though was Kepa to clear. And finally some incisive passing going on here. Again, Chelsea threatening on the edge of the box before Tielemans makes a good challenge on Werner. And Leicester have it again. Back to Soyuncu. And then Wilfred Ndidi had a quiet afternoon. I thought he was brilliant. In fact, he got man of the match, didn't he, in the last game, the 2-1 win at Old Trafford when Soyuncu scored the winner. But Ndidi was a star performer that day, but he hasn't brought his best game to the cup final so far. Rudiger knocks it out to the left, and Alonso now plays it forward right-footed into a man in space, Ziyech, who can knock it back to the Spaniard. Advancing down the left now, Chelsea go back to Ziyech and back to Alonso. He lets it run before Ndidi makes a good challenge this time. It's played forward by Perez, and then a foul by Tielemans sliding in. Gives Chelsea a free kick. It was Jorginho caught there by Yuri Tielemans. Ball just got away from him. He actually only just caught Jorginho, but again the cries and screams of the players that go to the ground maybe affect the referee's decision making there. Chelsea start from the back again. Jorginho to James. James plays it back into Jorginho and then wide to Conte. Back to the Italian. Forward quickly into the feet of Ziyech. Laid off back to Conte. Conte now driving them forward. Chelsea on the edge of the box here. N'Golo Conte, the Frenchman, trying to link up with Alonso. Just couldn't quite sort his feet out. And it's cleared by Leicester. And out for a throw. Which I'm just going to see, actually, James Maddison is getting stripped off on the bench, ready to come on. So this could be a tactical reshuffle shortly for Brendan Rodgers. He wants to get his top creative midfielder, creative attacking player Maddison on to try and maybe release Vardy, who's been very quiet in this game so far. Certainly Iheanacho hasn't really been able to link up with Vardy at all. Iheanacho, obviously, his form, particularly in the FA Cup, his form, he scored the winner in the semi-final, of course, against Southampton, didn't he? Warranted selection today, but maybe won't last the 90 minutes. And Ndidi now comes away with the ball from a 50-50 in midfield, but Conte has nicked it back off him. Comes back to Jorginho. They're moving the ball quicker, Chelsea, and with more purpose, as Mount now scurries down the left-hand side. He's got the overlap from Alonso, which he ignores. Tries to cut back onto his stronger right foot and does so away from Thomas. And it's not Thomas, rather Castaigne, and plays it back to Rudiger. Now Conte directing the traffic out towards the right-hand side for Azpilicueta, the right wing-back. He dumps it off now to James, and then Jorginho's pass is a good one to Conte, who's burst into space down the right side. High cross to the back post, headed on target, straight at Schmeichel from Marcos Alonso. It was a good move, good header, but straight at the goalkeeper from about 8 yards out. Lovely ball from Jorginho to find Conte. Conte's ball to the back post created a bit of a mismatch, really. Alonso taller than Castaigne, but the header unable to beat Kasper Schmeichel, who fielded it very comfortably. Almost 8 or 9 minutes gone in the second half now, and it's still goalless in the cup final. And attempt for Chelsea, but this time the first on target of the match there. Pretty comfortable save from Schmeichel. So throw in on the halfway line to Leicester now, which Luke Thomas has got in his hands, the number 33 for Leicester. Goes down the line. It's cleared by Thiago Silva back into Leicester territory, and Soyuncu lets it drop for a throw in. Is Ndidi going back to Shaglar Soyuncu, and he in turn goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Schmeichel. Now into the feet of Ndidi, back to Soyuncu. Chelsea putting a bit of a press on now. Well, Soyuncu hits it long. It's headed clear by James. 50-50 one in midfield by Chelsea, drops to Mount. Heads it back to Rudiger. Rudiger goes back to his goalkeeper. Vardy gives chase. Kepa will send it back long towards the Leicester half. There's not much football being played here. It's a game of territory, really. Now there's an offside gone against Chelsea. And Werner, who's looking a little bit forlorn, to be honest, in the Chelsea attack. I think one goal wins this cup final now. I think we got to that stage where it's not going to be a classic, is it? I think we played 50-odd minutes, and we know by this stage it's not going to be one of those classic straight to DVD games where they're in the club shops the next day. Cross comes in into the near post, and it's almost converted by Vardy before James got it away for a corner. Quick cross from the right hand side, fizzed in towards Jamie Vardy, and he was lurking in that near post area, but James just got the first touch. And it will be a Leicester corner. I think this is their first corner of the entire final. 10 minutes into the second half, and they make something of it. Obviously no Johnny Evans to be a threat on set pieces at the moment, so they'll have to be a bit more canny. Soyuncu is there. He's been the target of free kicks so far. I'm sure he's going to be trying to get on the end of this corner from Yuri Tielemans in towards the back post area. Fofana was there, but it's headed away by Azpilicueta. Drops on the edge to Albright. He sends it back towards Tielemans. Tielemans now on his right foot, bends it towards the far post. Good chance here, and it's just about smuggled away from underneath the crossbar by Alonso and out for a throw, or close to the corner flag. Could be a corner. Good deep cross from Tielemans. His first corner was headed away, but he stayed out wide on that right hand side, put a great delivery into the back post, and Alonso had to make the header because there was a Leicester player right behind him. It is going to be only a throw though, which Thomas is about to take. Thomas waiting for some movement, lobs it into the penalty area, headed away by James, and just about safe from being a corner by Azpilicueta, who knocks it downfield. And then Leicester try and put it back into the penalty area, but Ziyech tidies up. James back to Azpilicueta. James taking a touch, almost threaded a blind ball back to Thiago Silva, which put him under pressure, but he got it away, the Brazilian. And now Fofana passes it back at the other end to goalkeeper Schmeichel, with Werner closing in on him. Soyuncu out wide to Castaigne. In fact, it's all Brighton now. Down the line. Nobody there for... Well, there is actually, because Iheanacho's got there and gone down. I think he's won a free kick, which is quite canny play there. There wasn't much on for Leicester in their own half, and the former Man City striker managed to draw a foul. I would assume that he'd be the one coming off for James Maddison, but alternatively it could be Ayotse Perez, who's been fairly subdued in this match as well. Maybe Brendan Rodgers would be reluctant to take off Iheanacho, such good goal scoring form he's been in. And maybe it'll be Perez who's sacrificed, the former Newcastle player. Anyway, Maddison hasn't yet got stripped off, although we saw him getting ready to warm up. I haven't seen any further updates of where he is and how close he is to being brought on. As we edge close to the hour mark, it's a Chelsea throw. Back to James, back to Thiago Silva. Former PSG man knocks it into the feet of Mount on the halfway line. Back to goal, he lays it back to Rudiger. Rudiger wants somebody to come shorter to him. There's quite a big gap noticeably now between the Chelsea back line and their midfielders, which something maybe that Maddison could exploit if he was going to be brought on soon. Stabbed forward, and then Jorginho knocks a long one through towards Werner, but he's given up the chase. It goes all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel, and he lets it run for a goal kick. So I have to say this has been a fairly disappointing cup final so far in terms of entertainment level. Just one effort on target a couple of minutes ago from Alonso's header, which was a very easy save. Kasper Schmeichel, who's about to take the goal kick. Havertz and Pulisic warming up for Chelsea. Maddison for Leicester. Ball into the channel for Vardy to chase. Hooked away by Thiago Silva at the expense of a throw. The Brazilian thought he was being fouled by Jamie Vardy there, but I don't think there was much in it, and neither does the referee. He was, of course, the main arbiter of things, or the sole arbiter of things. Obviously, the linesmen will have their views as well. There was a linesman pretty close to the action there, and he didn't flag. Leicester have messed up the throw-in, though, and Alonso can clear. He goes out for another throw-in to Leicester. Pinning Chelsea back, trying to play the game in their half here. I think that's the game plan from the Foxes in the second half. Not afraid to try and put that back three on the back foot, really, with Vardy's pace. So, throwing comes in towards Iheanacho. Back to Albrighton, who's going to try and show his dancing skills and wriggle away past James. He's won another throw-in, close to the corner flag. In fact, it wasn't James, it was Alonso who made the challenge. Mark Albrighton, former Aston Villa player, of course won the title with Leicester in 2016 under Claudio Ranieri. Nigel Pearson's team. It was improved by a couple of signings really. N'Golo Conte being clearly one of them. The cross comes in from the right-hand side, and this one's edged behind by Rudiger. Of course, ironic that Conte is now playing against his former team in their first cup final in 52 years. It's going to be another corner then to Leicester. From over on that right-hand side, the rain seems to just stop briefly at Wembley. And it's Tielemans to take it. The former Anderlecht player. They'll be used to playing in maroon. That was their colours, wasn't it, in Belgium? Still are, of course, but Tielemans no longer a player. Or purple, actually, than maroon, I think, the Anderlecht colours. So he plays this one short into the near post. Back from Perez to Tielemans. Tielemans then miscontrolling the second pass, gives it away, and Chelsea will try and break from by the corner flag with Conte lifting it towards Werner, but he can't get past Soyuncu. Stabbed forward again. Tielemans has picked it up. Now Albrighton looking to cross. Iheanacho's in the box. Is aimed high towards the back post. It's over Vardy's head. They come out the far side. Nobody in maroon to pick it up. It's going to be Chelsea ball with James now prodding it down the line to Mount. Mount trying to nutmeg Thomas, but he closed his legs in time and goes out for a throw. Johnny Evans is seemingly okay as he sits on the bench and has a big smile on his face as he chats to Wes Morgan. Camera's focusing on Evans, who played the first half an hour of this cup final before going off with a knee problem. Here come Chelsea again from the back. An hour gone. Rudiger playing it into the channel, headed up, knocked away by Fofana and straight out for a Chelsea throw. Looks like Christian Pulisic is getting some instructions from one of Thomas Tuchel's backroom staff now, so he could be entering the fray soon. The former Borussia Dortmund player, of course, Tuchel will know him from his time in Germany, and he's played some key roles in big games for Tuchel already, of course, notably that goal in the first leg of the semi-final against Real Madrid. Here come, that's the Champions League semi-final. Here come Chelsea again, crossing from the right-hand side by Azpilicueta, too close to Schmeichel, and he can smother it at the near post. So things just begin to open up a little bit now. Chelsea got into the final third quite easily there, but then the final pass from Azpilicueta was off. Perez looking to stretch Chelsea's defence now with Vardy. Vardy running onto it, trying to trick his way past James. James too strong for him again, so Vardy has to go back and look for support here. And then he manages to knock it back through Conte's feet to teammate Thomas. Back to the halfway line. Leicester look to build again, but a loose touch from Fofana has forced him backwards rather than forwards. Now it goes to the right hand side, and Castaigne lifting a ball over the top. Thiago Silva takes charge with a nice header, piece of control, and finding Azpilicueta. Oh, that's right, Jorginho. And then Leicester have just half stolen it back there through Thomas, finding Tielemans, 25 yards out, might go for goal here, strikes from range. Oh, it's flown into the top corner from Yuri Tielemans, an absolutely sumptuous strike in the cup final, a goal good enough to win any cup final, gives Leicester City the lead. It is Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1, Yuri Tielemans. Well, we talked about his quality, but you will simply not find a sweeter, more true strike than this to beat a top quality goalkeeper in Kepa Arrizabalaga from fully 25 yards. And that is an outstanding goal in the cup final. Chelsea are complaining about something prior to the strike. I mean, VAR will be involved here, but what a shame it would be if VAR was to overrule this goal for something in the build-up, because it was brilliant. Was it a handball? Or Chelsea looking for a handball there, maybe by Jose Perez? I've not seen any evidence to suggest it was. The effort, though, from Tielemans from 25 yards, arrowed into the top corner through the through the dive of the Spanish goalkeeper, right in front of the Leicester fans. An absolutely brilliant effort from Tielemans, and I think the goal will stand. Well, more than an hour gone in the FA Cup final, and it looks like Leicester City have taken the lead. Yuri Tielemans with a sumptuous 25-yard strike after the ball was turned over by a loose pass from Reece James. It seemed as though Chelsea thought there was a handball from Jose Perez, who tried to block the pass before it was then played to Tielemans, and he just let rip from 25 yards. Nothing that Kepa Arrizabalaga, who dived underneath it, could do about it to prevent Leicester City taking the lead. Chelsea 0, Leicester 1 in the FA Cup final. Yes, the goal stands, and it's Yuri Tielemans. Well, I thought he'd have a big say in this final, and a piece of quality there that Leicester badly needed, to be honest. Is it going to raise Chelsea's game then? Chelsea going to somehow find another gear to slip into? They've been a little bit cautious in this second period. Leicester, I think, tactically have changed it up a little bit with what they've done, and they've got the bit of quality at the end of it all as well to take the lead. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1. Is the cup going to head to the King Power Stadium for the first time, to Leicester City for the first time? Of course, anyway, Chelsea on the attack. They've won a corner down the left-hand side, which is about to be taken and played to the edge of the box, headed away by Fofana. They've got to defend like demons now for the next 25 minutes, Leicester. As Chelsea surely will step it up a bit now. They've got substitutes ready to come on as well. We saw Pulisic getting ready. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel will think about making a double change here maybe and bringing on Kai Havertz as well. Now Leicester have won it back in midfield again. It's Tielemans advancing to about 30 yards out. He's waiting for the support. It's arriving a little bit slowly, and so he takes the sensible option and goes back this time. Tielemans again. Wide to Castaigne, his fellow countryman, up towards Iheanacho, but he's lost it in a battle with Rudiger, who wins the free kick as well. Chelsea take it quickly, too quickly maybe to take the substitution at this point, although Leicester have got a sub ready to come on as well. It's going to be James Maddison coming on shortly. I think Maddison will be on before the Chelsea subs. Here's Ziyech lifting the ball over the top, flicked in field, but it's going to fall to Schmeichel, who's off his line to gather. And we've got 24 minutes left in the cup final with Chelsea a goal down. Some of their supporters grimacing in the stands. Leicester City have had a terrific cup run, haven't they? Beat Manchester United in the quarter-final, Southampton in the semis, and now taking on Chelsea in the final. As challenge is being won on the edge of the box. It's poked forward by Conte, but again Schmeichel can come and pick this one up. And he's just not falling for Chelsea at the moment. Just seeing a replay of of the goal, and there was a slight handball in the build-up, but I think it would be really harsh. It's not an obvious handball, it was a double deflection. Now VAR would have to have checked it, but the handball rule is quite often difficult to interpret, even at the best of times. And I think to rule that goal out for that very unfortunate accidental handball from Perez would have been mightily cruel. So Perez stays on. It's actually Iheanacho who goes off to be replaced by Maddison. And here come the Chelsea replacements as well. It is Ben Chilwell and Christian Pulisic. So it's not Kai Havertz just yet. So Pulisic is on, I think, for Hakim Ziyech. And then I think Chilwell has come on as well for Marcos Alonso. So against his former club now, Chilwell, trying to resurrect his new club's chances of silverware here. Chelsea 0, Leicester 1. Midway through the second half. And the goal is just what this game needed. Chelsea play it back now to Azpilicueta. Down the line, too much on that pass won't find Pulisic. So it should be Leicester's throw here. No, he's giving it to Chelsea. And it goes back from Azpilicueta to James. James finding Azpilicueta. Back to Jorginho in midfield. Then knocked across the halfway line to Rudiger. Gets it under control. Plays it out wide to Chilwell. Gets his first touch and knocks it back to the German. And they work it back across their defensive trio now with Vardy pressing. Now James, put under pressure by Maddison. Works it wide to Azpilicueta. Fed in quickly to the feet of Werner. Laid off nicely to Pulisic, who's stumbling as he goes, but manages to nutmeg Fofana. Keeps it going out to the left-hand side for Chilwell. Good link-up play there by Pulisic with his first serious action in the game. Back he goes to Jorginho. They've pushed Leicester right back into the penalty area now. Chelsea have it 30 yards out. Wide to the right-hand side for Azpilicueta. Work back in towards Pulisic and now Conte. He goes back to the edge of the box, and Jorginho thought about the pass to Mount on the edge, but then worked it back out left to Rudiger, and then Chilwell. They're waiting in the cross, waiting in the area for a cross, but it's not coming as they recycle it again back to Jorginho. Leicester in a low block here, just trying to defend their penalty area from any penetrative passes from Chelsea. They're not bothered about any crosses coming in because they don't really have any giants in the box to worry about. Olivier Giroud might be a different proposition should he be brought on by Thomas Tuchel. But at the moment it remains 1-0. Of course, he's only got one sub left now, Thomas Tuchel, hasn't he? As has Brendan Rodgers with 22 minutes to go. Good skill from Pulisic, who's certainly getting involved in the game, the American. Knocks it back to James. And now Thiago Silva. Rudiger down the line to Mount. And now Werner. He's got Chilwell out to the left-hand side. Werner looks back towards Mount and made a good run between defenders, but it was blocked off by Leicester's low block. Comes back to Chilwell. Now Jorginho trying to force it into the penalty area. Knocked away once more by Tielemans. Picked up by Chelsea. Azpilicueta, James, Conte and Jorginho all get a touch, but they can't find a route through. Now Pulisic tries to work a bit of magic on the edge of the box. Out wide to Azpilicueta. Fed into the penalty area again, and a challenge comes in. Mason Mount couldn't win that 50-50, and the ball bounces towards Schmeichel, who picks it up. The 50-50 was with Soyuncu, so he wasn't favourite there at all, was Mason Mount. 20 minutes to go in the cup final, and Chelsea trail to a stunning effort from Yuri Tielemans, the Belgian, former Anderlecht prodigy, who of course then moved to Monaco before Leicester paid a pretty penny to bring him over to English football. Now there's a foul on the far side, or there's an incident on the far side with a Leicester player going down. It's Luke Thomas, who, or was it Timothy Castaigne, who looks a bit in trouble over there. Jorginho's complaining that this is time wasting from the Leicester players, and it might well be actually. Castaigne is okay to continue. He didn't receive any treatment on the pitch. So Chelsea try and get things going again, but it's given away to Castaigne, who finds Tielemans. Tielemans looks up, plays it over the top, looking for Vardy's pace, who goes up with a header, but Thiago Silva immaculately defending there, nods it down to James, and Chelsea get on the front foot again with Jorginho. He tries to drive them forward through the centre circle, but it's quite congested in there. Now works it wide to the right for Azpilicueta. Tracked there by Thomas, goes inside to Pulisic. Pulisic wriggling away from the attentions of Ndidi. He tries to cut the ball back in. It's come back off the Nigerian and gone behind for a Chelsea corner. So Ndidi tracked him all the way there. Did his job. But Chelsea need to do better from their set pieces. They haven't really caused that much danger from any of their corners in this game so far. Will this be a turning point for them here as Reece James prepares to take it? Rudiger lurking in the box. James, one arm raised, crosses it in towards the far post. High hanging ball, headed away by Leicester. And again, Chelsea have to go back before they can go forward here. And they go back into their own half with Conte, and he's forced all the way back to Kepa. Kepa's not made a save in the game so far, and he was been beaten by a brilliant effort from Youri Tielemans about 6 or 7 minutes ago. Chelsea trying to apply the pressure, though, getting back into the game here with Pulisic, the substitute. Down the line, he finds Azpilicueta in a crossing position. It's blocked, though, by Thomas, and it will go for a corner. Throw in, rather. Azpilicueta will take it himself. It goes back to James. Now Jorginho towards the edge of the penalty area. Back to the right for Azpilicueta. Fed into Conte. Good first touch. Then had to go back outside the penalty area. Leicester had plenty of bodies back there. Maddison's been fouled by Azpilicueta. Free kick Leicester. And I'm sure they'll be taking their time, their own sweet time, over all the restarts now, Leicester City. Well, they had some success at Wembley. I think it was the old Wembley, wasn't it? In the League Cup, didn't they? A couple of League Cup finals they played in. They beat Tranmere in one of them, I remember. That was when Robbie Savage was in the Foxes ranks. Muzzy Izzet, that team. But maybe this team will go down in Leicester City history as being a little bit better than that one, and a little bit better maybe as well than the title-winning team, because a cup final victory and a top 4 place this season would be a remarkable season for them. Obviously, the league-winning team will always be fondly remembered. But I think there's 1 or 2 players here that are actually better than their opposite numbers in that team. Youri Tielemans probably among them. I think you'd take Youri Tielemans over Danny Drinkwater any day, wouldn't you? The form he's in at the moment anyway, I think any Leicester player would. Even when Danny Drinkwater was in his best ever season, there's been a coming together and a clash of heads, which the referees brought the game to a halt for. Azpilicueta and I think it's Thomas, the 2 players that have gone down holding the heads. During this injury interruption, Thomas Tuchel's making some last-minute instructions, giving some last-minute instructions to Kai Havertz, who'll be entering the play shortly. But who's coming off for Chelsea? Just over 15 minutes to go in the FA Cup final. And there has been a goal, brilliantly scored by Youri Tielemans. Chelsea need to strike back, and Kai Havertz is going to be coming on now. I wonder if it's going to be Timo Werner to come off. That would be a controversial one. Well, controversial in the sense of his transfer fee, but maybe not in terms of how badly he's played in this final as well as season. Havertz is coming on, and it's going to be Jorginho coming off. So he's sacrificing a central midfielder and bringing on an attacking midfielder, a player who has had success this season playing as a false 9 for Chelsea. And he comes straight into the fray, the former Bayer Leverkusen player. And he's going to operate in a role not too far away from Christian Pulisic. And it looks like it's going to be another change here. Of course, an extra substitution allowed today. Well, actually, no, 5 subs, of course, allowed in the FA Cup. And it's going to be Callum Hudson-Odoi who comes on for Cesar Azpilicueta. So they've used 4 subs now, Chelsea. Callum Hudson-Odoi, the winger. Some fresh legs on. Trying to rescue this game. Looks like Luke Thomas might be alright to carry on. He's back on his knees. He's yet to get back to his feet, though. This would be a headache for Brendan Rodgers. Maybe Ricardo Pereira could be a player forced into that position if needs be. But Pereira, only a right wing back. Can play left-hand side as well, I think, if Thomas is unable to carry on. And Leicester have the ball. Sorry, Chelsea have the ball. With Hudson-Odoi getting his first touch. But he can't get round Ndidi. But he has been fouled by the Nigerian for a free kick. Chelsea have got to hurry here. Leicester trying to stop the free kick being taken quickly. The referee's got to get involved. Now Thiago Silva's trotted up from the back. So this free kick is about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Crossing position for Chelsea. If they get the delivery right, they could cause some problems. It's whipped in towards the back post, headed away by Leicester and Fofana. Drops towards Conte, but he's about 40 yards out. Now square to James, who drills it across the pitch and finds Chilwell in some space. Leicester a little bit slow to get out to him, but Chilwell doesn't advance it forward, goes back towards Conte, and he's now been forced back by the attentions of, I think, Maddison. Now to Hudson-Odoi, just breaking the lines here with a pass to Pulisic. Pulisic forced wide by the defender, then switches feet and goes back towards Conte. Conte pulling all the strings here for Chelsea and still driving in towards the penalty area. Chip cross to the back post, headed down and brilliantly saved by Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel with a fantastic one-handed save to deny, I think it was Ben Chilwell's header. It was on target from Chilwell, and from a stand, he's used the post as well. He's pushed it onto the post. Brilliant save by Schmeichel. He's pushed it onto the post, I think. May have been going to hit the post anyway. But, no, he saved it. Yeah, just seeing a third replay, and Schmeichel pushes it onto the post from the resulting corner. It's cleared by Leicester. Chelsea pushing for the equaliser. Conte, like I say, has been a man mounted today against his former club. He's been, I think, by far Chelsea's best player today, N'Golo Conte, but the finishing hasn't been great from the Blues, to be honest. Headed away by Soyuncu as it drops to Havertz now, one of the 4 subs on the Thomas Tuchel. Goes back to another one of them, Hudson-Odoi, and then infield to Conte. Knocks it wide to Rudiger, who's pushed up into the Leicester half. Then he tries to switch the ball out towards Hudson-Odoi, isolated with the fullback. Thompson is all over like a rat. So Thomas all over like a rash, and he's won a free kick from Hudson-Odoi. Great smothering defensive work there from the left back. Stopped Hudson-Odoi in his tracks and wins Leicester a free kick. Wes Morgan is now warming up for Brendan Rodgers, so I wonder if he'll be needed to try and close out this game. Also, Hamza Chowdhury is getting some instructions. I wonder whether he'll think, if Chelsea are going to go long ball late on, he wants Morgan's organisation and heading prowess in there, so he might have to take off a forward and bring on Morgan to try and get this one through to full time. I think that's in Rodgers' thoughts, as ball is played downfield from the free kick by Schmeichel, volleyed away by Chelsea up to the halfway. There's a bit of a collision and a bit of confusion between 2 Leicester players, but Castaigne eventually knocks it away back into the Chelsea half. Chased hard by Perez, but Rudiger's back pass finds Kepa, and he knocks it forward again to the halfway line, out for a throw, but to Leicester this time. Kepa, of course, played in that infamous penalty shootout lost to Manchester City in the League Cup a few years ago, when, of course, Willy Caballero was meant to be coming on as a sub, but Kepa refused to come off for Maurizio Sarri, and things went badly in the penalty shootout for the Spaniard and Chelsea that day. I wonder whether it's been written in the stars that this match could go to penalties as well, and Kepa could again be a central figure for Chelsea. The expensive goalkeeper, who's now virtually an understudy really to Edouard Mendy in all the big games, the Champions League and FA Cup, and really only the Champions League and Premier League. It's only the FA Cup and League Cup where he gets a look in now at Kepa. Foul by Maddison gives Pulisic a free kick wide on the right touchline. He plays it along the ground backwards towards James. Conte trying to set something up with 10 minutes to go. Clock is not Chelsea's friend at the moment. Rudiger wide to Chilwell. Back to Rudiger, and now James, about 40 yards out though, just pushing forward to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Tries to work a 1-2 with Pulisic, but the American ignores the pass back to the winger. Goes back to the safety of Conte in midfield instead. Now Hudson-Odoi, they're trying to isolate him one-on-one with Thomas, but he's standing up pretty well, the full-back so far. So does Soyuncu to stop a cross from Mount, which goes behind for a Chelsea corner, I think, or maybe a throw-in. But it's been taken anyway. And Chelsea have got a chance here on the edge of the box with Mount. His cross was blocked off by Soyuncu's brilliant positioning, and it's out for another Chelsea throw. Now 9 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And here comes the latest Chelsea change, and it's going to be predictable. Olivier Giroud on, but Timo Werner is the player that gets sacrificed. Well, maybe the game's passed him by a little bit today, Timo Werner. And Olivier Giroud, the super sub, is on to try and get a leveller here with 9 minutes to go plus stoppages, and Brendan Rodgers is going to quickly counter that. This was obviously the reasoning behind asking Wes Morgan to warm up. He's sending Morgan on to stop Giroud, and he's also sending on Hamza Chowdhury as well. Luke Thomas comes off and Ayotse Perez comes off. We'll go to a back five here, and I would imagine either Castaigne or Albright will swap to the left-hand side, and it's just a back five now, with Morgan in the middle, Soyuncu and Fofana either side of him. Good decision that by Brendan Rodgers. Although Morgan has perhaps not been anywhere near his 2016 best in the last couple of seasons, I'm sure in these last few minutes he can organise that Leicester back line to keep out Chelsea and Giroud, who's going to try and isolate himself in the middle there for a cross. Shot comes in from range. It's a horrible effort from Rudiger, and he gets a bit of back chat, I think, from his teammates for taking on that impossible shot when perhaps he should have just recycled the ball, and that gives Leicester a few more seconds to waste, with now 7 minutes to go in the cup final. 7.5 minutes. And Chelsea fans are worried about this timekeeping. I'm sure the referee's going to keep on top of it, though, with the amount of stoppage time that will be added on. Schmeichel to take the goal kick now. So it's a new formation for Leicester now. They started out in a sort of 3-4-2-1, and they went back to a back four for a spell. That's when they scored. They've gone back to I think a 3-4-1-2 now. Oh, sorry, a 3-4, maybe even a 3-5-2 actually. 3-5-1-1. Just sending out numbers and formations now. I think it's more likely to be a 3-5-1-1 here for Brendan Rodgers in the closing moments. Maddison trying to work hard for his team to close down Havertz. He finds Hudson-Odoi, goes back towards James now. Chelsea on the front foot, all the play inside the Leicester half. Wide to Chilwell, who had that header chance that came off the post after Schmeichel got a fingertip to it. Could be a huge moment that in stopping Chelsea's equaliser. Back on the halfway line again now, the Blues. In towards the feet of the lively Pulisic, who turns well, and he's tackled by Tielemans. The ball forced to Giroud, but then a terrible pass out towards the left-hand flank. Goes straight out for a Leicester throw. And Giroud all of a sudden looks a little bit crestfallen there. Tuchel looking anxious, although his team have had success against Manchester City in 2 big games this season. One of them in the FA Cup semi-final, one of them in the league. Got City to play again in the Champions League final at the end of the season. But they still haven't been certain of their top 4 place. And if they don't win that Champions League final, they'll need to finish in the top 4 to make it to the Champions League next season. So you see, it's all sort of not quite crashing down, but it's becoming very, very significant, these games for Chelsea. Now Jamie Vardy's worrying Thiago Silva. Jamie Vardy's got a chance to shoot here. He's gone down the box looking for a penalty. The referee says corner. Thiago Silva lost possession with Vardy all over him, but he didn't foul him, and it will just be a corner. And that's exactly what Chelsea don't want. They need to be applying the pressure, not trying to defend their own box. And I don't think Leicester will send many forward for this corner either. Maybe Wes Morgan can make a nuisance of himself in the opposite penalty area. Vardy will lurk around there as well for any knockdowns. 5 minutes to go. Jamie Vardy, by the way, has only scored 2 goals this year. He's had a fairly lean spell of it in the league. Crossed in from Tielemans. He's overhit it, and it falls on the other side to Hamza Chowdhury to get his first touch now. Onto his right foot, putting a low ball in. Flicked backwards by Vardy. Didn't quite get the touch he wanted, and it's behind for a goal kick with 5 minutes of the cup final to go. Can Leicester hang on? Anxious faces on the Chelsea bench, including from Thomas Tuchel, the man under the cap. Wide down the right-hand side now for Hudson-Odoi, but he's being shepherded away by Maddison. It goes back to Thiago Silva. Leicester very defensive, and they've got every right to be. They're 1-0 up in the cup final here to try and win their first FA Cup in their entire history. They've been to 4 finals previously and come away defeated on each occasion. Good ball into the back post, brilliantly headed down by Fofana. Can Leicester get on this ball? No, it's fallen to Rudiger. Now Conte, 30 yards out, square to James, and then wide to the right for Hudson-Odoi. One-on-one with a defender in front of him. It's Albright. Sorry, it's Castaigne who's switched across now to defend Hudson-Odoi. And he does well, forces him backwards. James now from a deeper position, crossing towards Giroud. And a volley that's been brilliantly saved by Schmeichel again. A superb reaction save from Schmeichel from a volley. Giroud's knockdown fell to Mount. A snapshot on the volley, which really worked Schmeichel. And a superb save, as good as the first from the Dane, to keep it 1-0 to the Leicester. Here comes the corner to the back post, headed away by Leicester. Knocked back in by Chelsea to the byline, getting a whip ball in. Oh, Schmeichel just about fumbled that, but then got on the rebound. And now they can waste a bit more time. You will not see a better save than the Kasper Schmeichel fingertip save to deny Mason Mount on the half volley. Caught it so sweetly, it was travelling towards a corner. A brilliant save from the Dane. Just seeing a third replay of it. That might go down as one of the all-time great FA Cup final saves from Kasper Schmeichel. And it's Chelsea 0, Leicester 1 with 2 minutes, nearly 3 minutes to go plus stoppages. Schmeichel's wasted a few seconds on the restart before it's played out to the right for a Chelsea throw. And Chelsea now giving it back to Schmeichel. So there was a bit of confusion there. Not sure what happened off camera. We were sort of inundated with replays of that brilliant Schmeichel save. Anyway, they're going to restart now with a goal kick for Kasper Schmeichel. The Leicester captain. 2 fantastic second half saves to keep his side in front. This one goes straight out for a throw in the Chelsea half to be taken by Hudson-Odoi. Back to James. And now Thiago Silva. Can Chelsea take this match to extra time? Penalties would loom after it if there's no breakthrough in that extra half an hour, but they've got to get there first as Soyuncu does some defending on Kai Havertz, knock it out for a throw-in. And Hudson-Odoi takes the throw down the right, back to James. He's got that target to hit there. Giroud, the focal point in the middle. He's pointing where he wants the ball played. He's instead gone towards Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell trying to steal in. He's off the line, and it's in the back of the net from Chelsea. They've scrambled it home in the 89th minute, would you believe, for a goal. And it's Ben Chilwell who's probably put it in the back of the net. And Chelsea might be about to take this 1-2 stoppage time to extra time. Ben Chilwell with a brilliant run in behind the Leicester defence. I thought they'd just about to smuggled it away before the rebound fell to him. It might have come off Kaglar Soyuncu as well. And Wes Morgan couldn't do anything about it. We've seen a replay of it again. It was a ball chipped in from deep by Thiago Silva. He's close to being offside there, actually, is Ben Chilwell. He stabs it on, and then it's come off a combination of Morgan and Soyuncu for the equalising goal. VAR is looking at this. VAR is going to decide whether it's a goal or not. I think it might be all right. The referee's having a look at this. VAR will check, though, for a possible offside on Ben Chilwell. Remarkable scenes in the cup final. The referee's getting the verdict in now. And he says, offside. Would you believe it? Offside. Unbelievable. Ben Chilwell's goal has been chalked off for offside. It is still Chelsea 0, Leicester 1, and the Chelsea fans are all of a sudden crestfallen, and those players and fans who celebrated wildly moments ago have now been denied by a very marginal offside call. Well, when it's your day, it's your day. Kasper Schmeichel's made 2 brilliant saves. Yuri Tielemans scored a screamer, and now an offside by a millimetre. Ben Chilwell, off that pass from Thiago Silva, has denied Chelsea what would have been an 89th minute equaliser. We're into the 91st minute now. It is Chelsea 0, Leicester 1. Well, extra time was looming there. They've got 5 minutes of stoppage time now, Chelsea, to rescue this. They thought they'd done it once. Can they do it again? Ball forward from James, headed away by Morgan. Drops inside the Chelsea half, picked up by Maddison. He wants to go to the corner flag here. He's looking for Vardy to make that run, and Vardy does make that run. He keeps it in. Down by the corner flag, tries to take on James, gets pushed over. What's the referee given here? Is it a foul on Vardy, or was he offside in the build-up? I think the referee's blown up for a free kick to Chelsea. Which I'm not sure what that was all about. But anyway, it's been played back to Kepa. He finds Rudiger. Back now to Thiago Silva, whose immaculate pass, brilliantly weighted towards Ben Chilwell, was perfect for the full-back to nip in, but then just couldn't quite hold his run, as we saw from the replay. Hamza Chowdhury makes a challenge on Pulisic, where the ball is worked wide to Chilwell. Then a challenge comes in from Ndidi, which knocks it out for a... No, it doesn't. It's kept in by Rudiger. He then hoists the ball into the penalty area, looking for Giroud. It's not won, though, and it falls all the way through to Schmeichel, who lets it go behind for a goal kick. And they're almost there now, Leicester. Some of the fans inside the ground cannot believe the drama this cup final has produced in the second half. course, Brendan Rodgers could be set for his first piece of major silverware south of the border. Haven't been so successful at Celtic. Thomas Tuchel still waiting for his first piece of silverware at Stamford Bridge, and he'll have a chance to make amends, if you like, more than amends, with the Champions League final coming up in 2 weeks' time. But this isn't ideal build-up, is it, for Chelsea, as they get the ball forward again. Soyuncu winning the header, drops on the halfway line. Soyuncu was fouled there by, I think, Giroud, and he's gone down clutching his chest. Free kick to Leicester with a matter of 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. Again, Tuchel complaining to the fourth official about what he perceives as time wasting, or maybe just bad refereeing from Michael Oliver, but he had a big call. Well, it actually wasn't his call, was it? The VAR took control of the situation from Stockley Park and made the decision known to Michael Oliver that it was offside. He didn't have to come and check that on the monitor. They check offsides themselves, don't they, VAR, and they make the call. And so that has denied Chelsea what would have been an equaliser and potentially a route through to extra time, and who knows, maybe penalties and maybe even lifting the FA Cup. But it won't happen now, I don't think, with 2 minutes to go, unless they can force more drama through Conte from deep, playing it forward. It's straight to Leicester though, and Didi hooks it forward. It's going to go towards Vardy by the corner flag. Great first touch from Vardy, trying to nip inside the defender. Thiago Silva stands up strong. Vardy will let it go behind for a corner though to Leicester. And we've now got less than 2 minutes of stoppage time to go, and Chelsea are nowhere near where they want to be. They're defending a corner, which I'm sure Leicester will play short to try and waste a bit more time. Tielemans has come over towards Maddison, the corner taker, and they're complaining about Chelsea getting too close here, but they're taking the corner now. Tielemans back to Maddison. It's come off Maddison's heels and gone out for a Chelsea throw. Just over a minute to go. Gone out for another throw a bit further down the line. Hudson-Odoi wants the ball back from the fans. The fans aren't playing ball here. There is another ball a little bit further down the pitch, which you'll have to restart with. Thrown in by Thiago Silva. And now Reece James back to Rudiger. Rudiger, long ball downfield. Giroud jumps, beaten in the air by Soyuncu, drops now to Maddison, who can get it down, looking to play a 1-2 and get a counter-attack sorted. Vardy's run through and run offside. Maddison holds it up now, looking for Vardy, but well done Thiago Silva. Down the line to Hudson-Odoi. We're into the final 30 seconds of the original 5 minutes of stoppage time. There might be a bit more to add on from Michael Oliver. Havertz knocks it back. Vardy challenging and fouling a Chelsea player, but they play on. The ball still with the Blues. Here is Pulisic shaking off the attentions of Chowdhury, and now Conte dribbling towards the edge of the box, and Didi covering his run. Then Mount finds Chilwell, deflected cross into the penalty area. Giroud challenged there and won by Morgan. The ball bounces a little bit awkwardly for James, who gets it back to Thiago Silva. There are just seconds to go in the cup final. Ball's pumped forward again towards Giroud, who tries to win the header. Soyuncu wins this one though. Leicester try and break away again, but James gets it back towards Hudson-Odoi by the corner flag, and there goes the whistle. And Leicester City FA Cup final. They will lift the trophy for the first time in their history. A superb winning goal from Youri Tielemans, a couple of brilliant one-handed saves from Kasper Schmeichel, and a late controversial VAR intervention to deny Ben Chilwell a possible equaliser that means it's finished. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1, and Chelsea still in search of their first trophy under Thomas Tuchel. Thanks for joining us today for coverage of the FA Cup final. It's finished. Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.